looking like a favourite to many people, but I'm not one to back away from an underdog story. And on the other side, we've got a rookie. It's her first event, but I'm confident that they can do phenomenally well. Please, representing Team Ireland, join me in welcoming to the stage the one, the only, it is of course Glitch. eFootball's only just getting started today, folks. It could be a long one, so buckle yourselves in. But to bring you the entertainment as we get ready for kickoff, let's head across to Tyler and John.
Yes, thank you so much, KP. Tyler joining me, of course, on the casting booth for the first two games of the day. I am so excited, Tyler, to be here. European games, to say the least. You know, we've seen some of the competitors do it on the Commonwealth level at the same time, but now this is really the next step up in some of these players' careers.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's always great to see kind of new competition come out, because certainly some of these countries are a little bit more established when it comes down to it within eFootball. Others, of course, have competed in other titles. Later on, we'll see MZ. She said before the tournament that she was maybe not the biggest in eFootball, but has certainly competed across FIFA as well, has done some stuff in first-person shooters as well, and I think just having that competitive edge is always great to see, and especially something just being someone that's into football. I think you can always pick up a game like eFootball and perform well if you know the basis of the game.
No, definitely, 100%. And look, we're going to kick things off today with Belgium versus Ireland. Not too sure that's a game we'd probably see in the real world of football too much. But either way, look, we're talking about two teams that, you know, very, very sort of on each side of the coin, right? We have Belgium, who's come through a very, very dominant performance, unbeaten in the groups. And then on the other side, you've got Ireland, who have literally just clinched it with I think like a last minute goal difference or something like that, by like +3 or +2. So we're talking about Italy, not Belgium. But yeah, we're talking about two teams that, yes, they have got potential to give a very, very tough, evenly matched up game. But if you're a stats man, you know, sometimes you like to live by the rule, but you've got to think that coming into this, Italy and Georgia is definitely the favourite, right?
Yeah, I think so, certainly, and we did get a couple of insights earlier whilst the desk was still happening. We had one of the point of views already up and had the chance to kind of look at the teams being set up, and obviously in eFootball a lot of players usually do go for teams like Bayern, or you see Barcelona there as well a lot of the time. From what I've seen just now, we'll see Georgia starts with AC Milan, and on the other side, which will be with Bayern, and of course players just about getting ready now. I think, well, that's me up there on the big screen. They're finally playing on the stage, and we're just moments away from jumping into it and getting into our first matchup here. And I was just about to say, we were just hyping up that one of the players is going to use Bayern here, and that's not what it is, because, yeah, a little bit of a curveball there, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think if you was to ask me to put my life savings on one team that might not be picked in a semi-final game when it comes to an important stage, it would be definitely Udon, right?
I think it might have been a wrong selection.
Yes.
Yeah, obviously you haven't seen that just yet. We hadn't actually gone into it, I think. So they've gone back into the lobby now, and they're probably going to reset that. I'd be very, very surprised if it's not going to be Bayern against AC Milan. All around, I would have loved to see them being able to represent their home countries, and but of course it is going to then also be balanced across the board, usually in eFootball, and it's still always awesome to see international clubs come out. You're able to represent those. Obviously later on the open side we'll have players that are actually signed to the big clubs. They've played the biggest competitions in the leagues, and with that we'll have to see. And if you are just joining us, of course, Rocket League is done for the day. We'll have that grand final tomorrow, and we are just about away from jumping into the first game of the women's competition here for eFootball, and it will be Bayern again.
Yeah, we just had it pop up on our screen. I was like, okay, cool. I don't have to put a Danny Rose and Google some of the players' names for them. But no, yes, we are going to see the side of Italy representing strong through onto the game as well. AC Milan for Georgia, and on the other side of things you can see here, Bayern München for the side of Ireland, of course, being represented by Glitch. Couple stats coming into the game, of course. Italy, like we mentioned, unbeaten in groups, 25 goals scored, just the 2 conceded. Now, you know, you can't lose a game of eFootball, you can't lose a game of football in general if you don't concede many goals, right? And so the fact that you've only conceded 2 goals across, I think it was, what, 9 games of competitions throughout the groups or something silly like that, that is safe to say that Georgia definitely knows how to keep the defence locked down, but on the other side of things, Ireland went through on that goal difference. Like I mentioned, 17 scored, 18 conceded, and it's their first competition in eFootball to represent your country. And I've got a few Irish friends as well, and we all know how sort of like patriotic and how super serious Ireland is when it comes to representing their country. So this is a big bit of weight on Ditch's shoulders.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of expected it with the difference in experience. Some players coming through qualifiers, others literally just being selected by their delegations, and then obviously you are dropped into a group. It is just 4 players a group on the women's competition side, just 2 groups in that, so the chances were pretty high of you actually moving in to those playoffs. And at the same time, you already mentioned it, a difference of 3 goals, and that literally just happened on the final matches, so that was down to the wire all the way. And looking forward to seeing what we'll bring to the server now, as the game is now hopefully just about as we're loading in and ready to finally see some football. And yes, obviously we've been here a couple days already. We saw some of the competition kicking off on Thursday already, whilst we were checking out the venue and seeing how everything was set up. And I felt the energy with the players was great. They were all just hyped to be there, hyped to get into their games, and we are now finally underway.
Yeah, if you just joined us, we are here for the European Games Esports Championship. Semi-finals underway between Italy and Ireland. Italy kicking from left to right, Ireland from right to left. Italy represented by AC Milan, Bayern Munich for the side of Ireland. And already early on here, Tyler, a little bit of early pressure from the side of Milan, forcing their first corner.
Yeah, set piece is always going to be dangerous, obviously. Not even that many players forward, we do have to say, for Milan. For Georgia, he tries to go to the edge of the box, doesn't really work out, and that's always your chance for counter-attack if you're glitched in that position. The passing now working out quite well and getting into a decent position around the edge of the box, but it's always just trying to pull the defenders out very compact. We saw that in the set already, that Glitch is going to bring exactly that sort of style to the game. It's just a big clearance on trying to keep the game away from the goal. However, now it's sort of opened up space in defence with good defending to come back. And now maybe time to counter. Not going to come through the defense just yet.
Yeah, I think if there's one person that's not going to be getting in behind quick and fast, that's going to be Thomas Muller. I think maybe 5 or 6 years ago it might have been a different story, but so far so good from each side. Some early Milan pressure down the left-hand side, ball whipped in. That's going to be catching practice though. However, for Jan Sommer, such a well-respected goalkeeper both in the real game and throughout the whole sort of football esports industry, super solid, super reliable is the Swissman. Either way, that ball is turned straight back over, fortunately though, for the side of Bayern. That pass is a little bit loose, but one thing we talk about while playing eFootball all the different times is, I guess football in general, it's the different patterns of play, the different styles of play, right? Some people prefer to sit back and hit on the counter-attack, some people prefer a fast build-up, a little bit of tiki-taka. What style of eFootball do you like to watch, Tyler? What's your favourite?
To be honest, I think, especially with eFootball in the game, it's been very focused towards kind of the centre of the pitch. There's not too much action going on around the wings, and I think if you're playing a team like Bayern, that should generally be the way that you move. However, right now, the counter-attacking play is generally what I prefer around the different titles as well. However, right now, not quite working out here for Georgia just yet. I feel like she's been more accurate, though, and the team's been strong in that. Most of the action has been happening within Bayern defending, so they're still getting those blocks in, and then it's all about just long clearances for them, and that hasn't really worked out for them just yet, I feel like, because then those through passes haven't been coming through.
Yeah, and I think you made a great point, especially when it comes to eFootball. We see a lot of the build-up go through the centre of the pitch, and then maybe the ball here is whipped out to the left-hand side, and you might see that final cross in the final third come into play. But if you compare it to the other esports titles we have, which is a little bit more traditionally fast build-up, and the passage of play is a little bit more tiki-taka-esque. So we'll have to wait and see. The tournament is obviously still early doors, even though we are in the semi-finals. This is a best of 3. Like I think I heard Lee mention earlier on the desk, no aggregate scoreline, no away goal rule, just pure 90 minutes of football. I say 90 minutes, maybe 10 minutes of football either way.
Yeah, so it's 5 minutes per half, obviously, and then also, if it is tied after that, we don't actually go to extra time. I think it is straight to penalties, if I saw it correctly in the rule book. First little chance here to actually hit the post. And the upright is going to steer it away from the goal. Another corner to come, and you can see in the possession chart just there, 63 to 37. It's been very, very one-sided in that. And Georgia, I think, is going to be looking for a little bit more off the back of this corner. Certainly trying to get players into the centre of the pitch this time. Shorter, trying to head it on And Glitch, great stuff there to get that head on first, and now get the ball clear, have a little bit of free space, and maybe even look for a long ball over towards the right-hand side. Doesn't quite manage to do so, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think what we've sort of seen already from the way Georgia is going to be set up to try and take this game to Glitched is it's very centre-focused, and then they try to put the ball out wide to the likes of Coleman, or I think they're actually trying to play with Mabry as well. But the ball whipped in, straight shot straight at the keeper, down the throat of Jan Summer, that's been beaten away for a corner. But when you've got a target man, like Thomas Müller, for example, on the side of Bayern, you'd be thinking they're the ones that are going a little bit more direct, but it's not. It's actually Georgia on the side of AC Milan who's trying to whip that ball into the centre of box, but corner here though for the side of AC Milan. Just waiting to see whether or not the ball is going to be whipped into the near post or if it's sent slightly deeper.
Yeah, obviously it is from the opposite side. This time it's yet again going to be Jan Sommer to try and get that ball away. However, not good enough. Corner towards the cross towards the back post isn't going to be coming through, and in the end I think we'll see a goal kick here for Glitch, and sending their players up the pitch here, looking to go towards the left-hand side. That should work out for them. They do lose the heading duel in midfield, however, straight back into their own defensive lineup and somehow find a pass straight through the centre of the pitch and not able to come back into it. However, now there's space opened up for Georgia. Good block towards that side. We'll see yet another corner, and obviously virtually half an hour gone in this game already. It's been more or less one-way traffic, and even the passes reflect exactly what we've been talking about. I think within like the virtual football scene, being below 80%, usually you don't see that too much.
Yeah, I think you usually get.
Oh, and it's a penalty!
That's a late challenge, and it is. The ref points to the spot. It was a late tackle from the centre back of the Bayern team.
And that might be one of the most difficult parts if you have Jan Sommer in goal, because he's one of the smallest goalkeepers around, obviously within the top clubs. We'll have to see. Georgia will be stepping up with Giroud, looking towards the left-hand side. Great save for Glitch there, and in the end, we will stay level in this game from now on. And it's already becoming a great best-of-3 here, just within the first game of the series.
I'm calling it. We're seeing 3 penalty shootouts. I can tell already neither of these two players are going to budge a yard. But you mentioned, Jan Sommer, usually one of the smallest goalkeepers when it comes to the world of football. So sometimes reaching those far corners for the penalties. But I think it was Georgia who let it go slightly down the middle. And usually that's a great way to take a penalty. And if the keeper just stands still, then he stands still and guesses right. But the ball isn't whipped over the top, trying to get again though. Thomas Müller's not a player you want to be trying to slide in behind. Ball does now fall to Gnabry. Is dropped back.
Good idea.
Over towards Müller, out wide. Ball does try to get played across into the final third, but easily intercepted by the side of AC Milan. And now it's the Italians that go on the counter-attack.
Yeah, we're just minutes away in game from going into the half-time break, so we might just see one further attack here for Glitch. Now, how do they take a little bit of time to consider what just happened in this first half, as we do get another attack here? Final one, probably. Jan Sommer to pick a ball from the air. However, I think one thing that they need to consider right now as we will head into that break is to maybe calm down a little bit. They've been trying to force the ball forward a little bit too fast, losing balls because of it, and then in the end, made life a lot easier, I think, for Georgia.
Yeah, but I think Georgia as well needs to kind of just take a little bit of a chill pill and relax so slightly, because in that situation, what we're seeing a lot of the time, like I said, she's building the play up very, very well through the middle of the pitch. The ball's then played out wide, and obviously when you've got a tall man like Olivier Giroud, one of the best headers in world football in terms of being a goal poacher, I completely understand why you're trying to whip the ball into the box. But even in that situation there, you have Rafael Leao just running through on goal. All it takes is a cute ball inside, as a reverse pass, and he's not going to miss one-on-one with the goalkeeper, is the AC Milan forward. But we can see here a few changes coming into play. A bit of a reshuffle for the formation, and I like this. I do like this a lot from Glitch. I think, they've kind of been aware that the wide men, the wide play from the side of AC Milan are being brought into the game, so they are going to shuffle Kingsley Coman and Musiala just into a more traditional right midfielder or right winger position, and I think that would then relieve a lot of the pressure off the likes of Pavard and Davies at the back.
Yeah, and the bigger problem has just been that those defenders haven't really had a chance to come up those wings, just simply due to the fact that they've always gone that quick, that the Milan defense has already been in place, and pretty much nothing happened from there on out. However, right now already losing the ball early on into the second half. Of course, if you are just joining us, we're now into the women's competition of the European Games Esports Championship, and already Georgia coming up that left-hand side, crossing towards the centre, just about getting there with the defender. Is glitched to get that ball away, but this should surely be the first goal, and somehow doesn't manage to score. Great to bring the keeper out, immediately just going for that initial save, get the ball as far away from your own goal as possible. And right now the next build-up happening for Georgia. Good to bring Gravenberg back to get into that defensive stance. And now trying to get into attacking, but just not been happening here for Glitch.
There's 2 warnings now. The side of AC Milan have given Bayern. You'd like to think third time's a charm, third time's lucky. You're not going to see the likes of Olivier Giroud or Rafael Leao sort of give up another sniff in and around the Bayern goal, and it's wave after wave of pressure. I want to say here, Tad, I'm not sure if you agree with me, but it looks like a slight change of tactics as Giroud through does smash the ball wide of the left-hand post, but it does look like almost that Georgia's made a slight tweak in the way the team set up. It almost looks like Milan is starting to push a little bit higher up the pitch and try and control the game a little bit more so than what they did in the first half. And already, I think you can see in the first 10 minutes of the second half, it seems to be playing very, very well.
Well, yeah, straight into chances, but that might just open up space in behind. However, still those passes not been accurate enough, trying to rush up the pitch a little bit too much for my liking. Longer ball now from Georgia as well. Doesn't come through here either, but even there, trying to get that ball down is always going to be difficult, especially towards the middle of the pitch. And now the shot and the first goal we'll see of the playoffs. And it will be Giroud to score. And just heaps of space as well. Those players not actually going for the ball, but just staying back. And that might be down to individual player instructions as well. And having that support there. So certainly now the most important part is just to get back into the game and not let this go on for a bit too long, because I feel like Georgia might just run away from the ground.
Yeah, and I'm taking a look at the sort of stamina stats as well, and it looks like for Glitch, they've really ran Musiala and Coleman into the ground, and I think Musiala is going to be brought into a more central attacking midfield position. But you know, one thing I don't often like too much is when a player does go 1-0 down, an instant change of formation, an instant change, because it can really disrupt the flow, especially when you've seen the way that, you know, Georgia has come out into this game with a little bit more of a higher press. I don't mind the fact now that the likes of Sane are going to be brought in, trying to exploit that pace potentially as well in those gaps opened up that you did mention. But I think for the side of Ireland, Glitch here probably playing Bayern. I don't want it to get a bit too desperate too early on. There's still a long time to go. There's still 30 odd minutes left in the game. But let's just talk about the goal quickly as well. What fantastic playing. If there's one player in world football that you could thread the ball into their feet and say, just hold the ball up and create something in the penalty box, I think Olivier Giroud, the Frenchman, is one of those players that come into mind so strong with his back to goal, twists and turns, kicks it onto that favoured right foot and just smashes it home past the goalkeeper.
And let's be honest as well, we have seen this coming. Obviously, with the group stage that Georgia played for Italy, it's been tremendous with the amount of goals that she's been able to score there. And in comparison, of course, for Ireland, Glitch only scored 17. That's the least amount by any player that's in the playoffs here, and that by quite a decent margin as well. Everybody else is sort of around the same. Obviously, MZ, she's still 39 goals in the group stage, which is just incredible. But yeah, there did concede a bunch as well, so it's not like that makes it any easier there. However, it's all about this response now, and who knows, if Georgia can get a quick second, then it might just be game one done all around. A good clearance there. And yet again, I feel like if they would just go for passes out towards the wings rather than always just clearing it as far as it can possibly go. They can maybe hold on to possession a little bit longer, and now you can get into that build-up play. And maybe you carry the ball a little bit longer. Lucky to actually have that pass come through, but already Georgia coming back, trying to get back into their own game. However, decent defending this time out from Glitch to get players into position.
I don't think you've hit the nail on the head there, Ty, to be totally honest with you. I think it all seems a little bit panicked and rushed from Glitch, right? Yes, cool, I completely understand that you're under pressure. You've got an amazingly talented player like Georgia just flooding wave after wave of attack, but sometimes you just need to say to yourself, okay, look, I'm here for a reason. I'm in the semi-finals, but it could be 2-0. Great save from Summer in the one-on-one. And usually you'd back your house, you'd put your wife, your dog and your kids on Rafael Leao to score in a one-on-one there, but fantastic stop from the Bayern goalkeeper.
And that's just about where you see the changes in tactics come through. You have 3 at the back, and then all of a sudden, 3-4 attackers coming your way, and then that makes life really, really difficult. Because you have to choose, where is he going to go? And all of a sudden, you have a free shot on goal, and that's just always one of the dangers of having 3 at the back. Obviously, you want to come forward a little bit stronger. That's just not really been happening, especially with them widening their stance all throughout, and then not trying to take advantage of that, not trying to go for those wing players.
I would say that it looks like almost already that, yes, it's only been sort of 5 or 6 minutes since the changes are made, but I think for the side of Ireland, Glitch, it does look a little bit more like they have got some sort of hold over the game switch since switching to what I think like a 4-4-1-1, give or take, with putting Sani out wide again. The wait ball is whipped into the box, flipped on at the near post. Giroud's there. What a save from Jan Sommer, claws it out of the corner. The ball drops in, another save again. How on earth have AC Milan not took the lead here? Jan Sommer, we might look back at that on the analyst desk later on. How big of a double save could that be?
Yeah, another corner going to be coming up, very shifted over towards the back post. They'll be running in now, but no advantage taken of that strategy. And now the ball comes in, decent clearance here in first instance, but we've seen that really Georgia hadn't been able to take advantage of that. The passing accuracy has gone up. I'm actually surprised that the game's going because there's a second ball on the pitch, but we'll just ignore that as it despawns, and defending this time out. I mean, lucky that the margin is just 1 goal for right now. It's difficult enough to try and get back into it anyways. And right now, Georgia again tackle. It would have been an attacking foul either way. The advantage was given by the referee. But with 15 virtual minutes, John, there's not a whole lot of time to go back into. We do see another pause.
I think if you're AC Milan here and you're Georgia, you are saying to yourself, how on earth am I not at least 2 or 3-0 up in this game?
Yeah.
And if you're Glitch though, yes, okay, cool, you're 1-0 down, but guess what? It means Georgia, she's not feeling too clinical today. They're not taking their chances. 9 times out of 10, you back Georgia, a player this quality, we're talking about someone who's only conceded 2 goals and scored 25, usually very, very clinical in the final third. How big a price could they pay later on this evening? But either way, that's a bit of a rush from Glitch, and again the composure right from the side of Ireland is just not there. And I think I make this sort of double-digit corners now the side of AC Milan are going to go into, and with 10 minutes or just over 10 minutes left on our clock, you'd like to think here a goal could seal it. Ball whipped in, headed away though, does drop to the edge of the box, but it does drop for Bayern Munich.
Did they get away with that? Somehow stealing the ball back, and however, it will be Glitch to actually come out on top. Can they counter the bigger question? We've talked about stamina being a problem, however, just subbed in. And doesn't quite work out there, as Gnabry was the one that subbed in and doesn't really get the pace to it. Losing the ball here. Again, a little bit of a rush counter-attack on the side of Glitch. And right now, immediately onto it, Georgia. It should be 2-0. Shifts it over and can't even go for the sway finish.
Oh, Georgia, you gotta take your chances.
Yeah, it's offside by inches. But either way, they weren't able to actually get that shot on target anyways.
Well, if this is setting us up anything for what the remainder of this best of 3 might look like, someone get a talent manager and have a defibrillator on standby, because I don't think our Hearts are going to be able to take so many missed chances, to say the least. But here come the side of Bayern Munich. They know that they've only got 5 minutes left to get themselves back into this first of the best of 1 series, but the ball is going to be nicked away, slid out wide. Here is Rafael Leao, 1-on-1 with the final defender, but that's poor.
Like that, and still, she wasn't able to steal the ball back, and she went for a sliding tackle, didn't expect that ball to be basically gifted to them, and now the cross can come in. It's 2-on-2 in the box, and Glitch just coming out on top to actually win possession here. Can they counter? Final minute of regular time has already wrapped up now. 3 minutes added on top to see what they can do. Can we finally see a proper chance on goal on this right-hand side? Doesn't look like it. As yet again, Georgia coming away with it. A minute still to go, and John, I don't think it's going to be enough for Ireland to have any sort of fight back into it. Tries to shift up the sideline. But look how buzzing Georgia is with basically, what, 7 players on that right-hand side just trying to contest possession.
It has to go forward, Tyler. It has to go forward. They've not got a lot of time to work with, but you can't give the ball straight to the feet. Got to win the second header. The second ball is won, though, by the side of Bayern. Ball slipped through. 1-on-1. Slide the ball in. Surely no fancy centre back.
These are attempts for just not to be.
And from the reaction there from Georgia as well, obviously she's just won. It's a 1-0 win for her. She's up in the best of 3 now. But it's not exactly confidence inspired from her just yet. I mean, she's not exactly pumping it out that she just got a win. It's still very much down to it.
I think
The coach will have some input here.
I think that's probably due to the fact, right, that Georgia knows they've missed many chances there. That game could have been wrapped up 3 or 4-0 sort of by the 60th, 70th minute of the game. And, you know, imagine you saw Glitch go through 1-on-1 there at the end. And I think, that ball was probably played into the someone like Kingsley Coleman.